Hello everyone. I created a theory called the theoretical limited dynamics of reality. Um, Piggybacking off of that, I also created what I like to call utilitarian physics. And in this video, I'm going to attempt to explain in more depth my theories and the type of physics that I've claimed to create. So with classical science, classical physics, biology, all that stuff, they're interested in reality, discovering truth of what that physical reality is, also including energy, light, heat, with other different sciences, not just physics and stuff. But basically, classical physics, classical science, basically is trying to discover truths within a physical reality. They believe in one reality. They might believe in, with quantum physics and stuff, they might believe in multiverses, and that umbrellas under one reality. But in utilitarian physics, uh, we believe that there are multiple different realities, what I call fundamental reality fields. They can intermingle with each other, the different fields. They can have relationships with each other. And like everything else in nature, this is the important part, realities can get born, be healthy, get sick, and die like everything else in nature. And I made that and a lot of my theory is based off just observing nature, how nature works just from an observational standpoint. A plant, if you don't give it enough water, don't give it nutrients, don't give it enough sunlight, it can be healthy if you give it all those things. It can wither away and die if you don't. With classical science and physics, they're mostly interested in discovering truth about the physical realities, and also a lot of the fruits based off of those different sciences is technology. In utilitarian physics, we're not concerned with technology. We're not even really just concerned with discovering different truths uh, about physical structures of reality and the energies and stuff. We're more interested in describing, um, observing what we call fundamental reality fields. And what a fundamental reality field is it's comprised of intelligent beings or not so intelligent beings and their relationship within a particular environment. And also, an important part is that balance between the beings, the environment, and through consensus taking, through data collecting of the individuals within the system and the observation of the environment, the satisfaction levels of the beings within these what I call fundamental reality spheres. So we want a healthy fundamental reality sphere. How can you tell it's healthy? Because the environment flourishes, the plants grow, the beings are content. Maybe not perfect, but they're growing, they're evolving, they're thriving in a way. Um, so let's say you have a group of people in a tribe. If one person goes off and is very intelligent and is working with fire technology in the jungle, if the tribe itself needs food, water, and clothing and shelter, and then we have one very intelligent individual off doing experiments on fire, from a utilitarian physics standpoint, we would call him like ignorant or stupid. Not because his technology is wrong, not because his science is wrong, but because he's not utilizing it correctly within the particular, for the benefit of the fundamental reality sphere in which he finds himself and others. Um, so he's off in the fire in the jungle building fires. Everybody else is like they need stuff, they need food, water, clothing, and he's off doing other stuff. We would call that not. He would be a lesser intelligent being within the utilitarian physics. The most intelligent beings would be somebody who is like gathering the water that they need, checking if people are okay, checking if animals are okay, checking if the environment is okay. It does not mean that that guy's intelligence in one way is wrong or his discoveries and technologies are wrong. It's just that they're not conducive to a sound environment within these particular fundamental reality spheres. And you can have the most primitive technology within these spheres. It's not, you don't even need to know about the physical matter within the spheres. You can we can use classical physics within these particular reality spheres um, to help them find a homeostasis, um, but it's not necessary. So that's what it's concerned with. It's concerned with so, for example, if I go to the store and get a pet cat and I bring it to my house, I have entered a particular fundamental reality sphere. Everything outside that sphere is considered a lesser reality or secondary reality or uh, whatever, dark reality, whatever you want to call it. I have to come up with names for some of this stuff. But let's just call it a secondary reality. So if I neglect the cat, if I am not treating the cat nicely, the cat can wither away, get sick, and die. And within that particular field, then that field dies. If I'm taking care of the cat is healthy, thriving. I'm taking care of myself, but I'm neglecting the house, the environment. The house fades away, starts falling apart. That particular reality sphere dies. It's born healthy, gets sick, and dies, just like everything else in nature. So through utilitarian physics, we can take particular fundamental reality fields, and through consensus taking, through asking questions of the intelligent beings within these spheres, through observation of the environment, we can see what changes need to be made, and we would consider that the changes made to the satisfaction of the beings within this environment and the environment itself, we would consider that like a super intelligence. Whereas with classical physics, they would not be concerned, they would not, scientists of all different types of sciences and physics, they would not be concerned with what I call fundamental reality spheres. They'd be like, you're not studying reality, we're studying reality of the physical world. Well, that's it. I've heard this said before. It's kind of like taking a piece of paper, taking a letter with something written on it from a human. And this is a crude example, but classical physics, classical scientists of all different types, they're more interested in what the paper's made out of. In utilitarian physics, not only can we find out the truth about the paper, and if it's beneficial to the particular fundamental reality spheres, definitely try to find out what the matter of the paper is what molecules it's made up of and all this stuff, what elements it's made up of, blah blah blah. But also we want to read the writing and have a balance between what's written on the letter, not just what the chemical makeup is of the paper the letter is written on. In utilitarian physics, we want to there's one goal, and that is to have these whatever fundamental reality sphere you find yourself in, to have it thrive. That's basically it. And if you're not doing that, the fundamental reality sphere dies. And what is a fundamental reality sphere, if I haven't already made that clear? It's just an environment, intelligent beings within an environment that find themselves in a type of group setting. They find themselves in a reality, in a reality sphere. And that's reality in utilitarian physics. That's what's important to study. That's what's important to keep alive and to help grow. Not finding new discoveries, not being only concerned with the physical properties, physical makeup of what the physical reality is made of. So that's where we would differ. It's not that their data is wrong, it's not that they're not intelligent in some way, but from a utilitarian physics standpoint, they would be considered absolutely ignorant if they're not tending to or trying to learn about utilitarian physics and all these different fundamental reality spheres that exist. So that's basically it. An argument could be made that all these different fundamental reality spheres fall under one reality, and that's kind of like classical physics. We could get into that in more depth, but I'm not really too concerned with that. Whether it isn't, it's not relevant. What is relevant is if you as a human find yourself in particular spheres, depending on the circumstances, you want those. A lot of time, you want those particular reality spheres to thrive. And that's what utilitarian physics is all about. So you don't need to know mathematics. You don't need to know all these things. You don't need to know quantum physics and physics and biology and all this stuff. You can. That's the important part. You can. You can still study all the classical sciences within these spheres. But from a utilitarian physics standpoint, it's not conducive to the fundamental reality sphere or spheres. So it's, yeah, it's just hogwash at that point. It's like the drowning man trying to learn about the molecules of water, like Nietzsche says. It's like utilitarian physics says, like, yeah, that's cool, and there may be a time and place for that, but we find ourselves drowning without a life vest. Let's start moving our arms instead of like trying to find new technologies and learn about. We like want to get to shore and be safe and thrive. So it's very practical. It's very easy to understand. It's very easy to see that it exists, because take any group of people within an environment, have a consensus done of their happiness levels. Do they have their basic needs met? Yes. Is the environment sound? Yes. Oh, wait a minute, this guy, he's suffering psychologically, he feels depressed. Oh, but it's not just him, it's not just this like normal anomaly, or a normal thing that's happening. It's this thing that's spreading. So we have to introduce art. We have to introduce nature walks. We have to introduce dancing, music, whatever it may be. And after a while, the changes we make are the important part. Then through consensus and through asking questions of these intelligent beings within the environment, observing the environment, we can see, okay, now the particular fundamental reality sphere is thriving. How do we tell that it's thriving? Generally, not perfectly, but generally everybody has reached a level of homeostasis, satisfaction within the environment. And that's the only reality we're concerned with. So, yeah, that's the best I could do so far. If you have any other questions on it, anybody interested in this video, I'd be happy to try to answer them. I'm not saying I'm like 100% right about everything, but it's my theories and it's my type of physics that I created. It could be totally wrong, but I think if you take any group of people or intelligent beings within an environment and test their satisfaction levels, and not just egotistical narcissist satisfaction like money and all this stuff, but like general basic, satisfaction, food, clothing, shelter, and mental health. If those things within an environment are thriving, if the environment, the flowers are growing, the water's clean, the people are happy, that proves my theory. That proves my theory that if you pay attention to that particular fundamental reality field, it will thrive time and time again, just like boiling water. Just like neglecting a plant. You neglect the plant, it dies. If you give it water and a balanced amount of sunlight and everything it needs for its particular needs, then it thrives. Just like reality. Reality is no different than anything else in nature. And that's what I think classical physics and scientists kind of miss. They miss the point of that stuff. But anyways, that's all I got so far. So let me know what you think. Peace.